Ned Nwoko attests to Tinubu's approval of Anambra State. On our international scene, Democrats break rank as U.S. Senate advances bill to end government shutdown. And in sports, Man City crushed Liverpool to close in on Premier League leaders Arsenal. Those are our top stories. Details come up in just a moment. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Chukwuma Soludo on his re-election as governor of Anambra State. Soludo was returned for a second term in office after recording a landslide victory, winning all 21 local government areas in the election, according to results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Sunday. The massive victory makes the professor the third governor in Anambra's political history to win a second term. In a statement personally signed by him, President Tinubu described Soludo's re-election as a testament to his visionary leadership and a significant progress recorded under his administration. President Tinubu also commended the new INEC chairman, Joash Amukpito, and his team for conducting what he described as a credible election based on reports received so far. He charged the Commission to maintain high standards and continue to improve its performance in order to strengthen and deepen Nigeria's electoral system. Soludo, the candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance (APGA), secured 422,664 votes to defeat his closest rival, Nicholas Ukachukwu of the All Progressive Congress (APC), who pulled 99,445 votes. Paul Chukwuma of the Young Progressive Party (YPP) came third with 33,753 votes, while John Nwosu of the African Democratic Congress (ADC) scored 8,208 votes. George Mogalo of the Labour Party (LP) and Jude Ezenwafo of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) pulled 10,576 and 1,401 votes, respectively. The Islamic Supreme Council of Nigeria, the Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, on Sunday dismissed the allegation of Christian genocide in Nigeria, describing it as false, dangerous, and politically motivated. Speaking at the press conference in Abuja, the NSCIA's Secretary General Professor Ishaq Oloyede accused the Western media and political figures of trumpeting the allegation of Christian genocide as part of an alleged coordinated campaign to destabilize Nigeria. But the president of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Wale Oke, insisted that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. Oke said there is no other name to call it since no Christian group is attacking Muslims. He also said patience of the church is being stretched. Oke made this argument during a visit to the Olubadan of Ibadan, Obarashidi Ladoja, the weekend. The debate comes in the wake of Nigeria's designation as a country of particular concern by the United States President Donald Trump. In a series of posts on X between October 31 and November 1, Trump had condemned continued killings in Nigeria, declaring America's readiness to send its military to Nigeria if the federal government failed to stop the killings by jihadist groups. The NSCIA maintained that the violence in parts of the country was driven by criminality, poverty, and climate-induced migration, not religious persecution. Nigeria has witnessed an 81% decrease in terror-related deaths since 2025, according to the presidency. In a statement posted on its official X handle on Sunday, the presidency said the decline reflects improved counterinsurgency operations and stronger collaboration between the country's security agencies and affected communities. It added that more than 13,000 terrorists had been neutralized in the past year, while over 124,000 fighters and their dependents have surrendered to authorities. The statement also noted that more than 2.1 million internally displaced persons, IDPs, have returned home, with new communities being rebuilt in previously affected areas as normalcy gradually returns. According to the presidency, the federal government has established a resettlement scheme for persons impacted by conflict to help rebuild affected communities and reintegrate displaced persons. It also said since 2025, the federal government, through enhanced interagency cooperation, has vigorously pursued, arrested, eliminated, or successfully convicted terrorists and insurgents, especially those responsible for some of its most heinous attacks on Nigerian territory. The statement added that since 2024, over 124 terrorists and insurgents have been successfully convicted, while others, including members of the Ansaru leadership and those responsible for the Owo Church bombing in 2022, as well as the Yelwata, Benue reprisal and counter-reprisal attacks, are undergoing trial in various courts. The presidency further said that joint security task forces, enhanced border patrols with local and regional partners, compensation for victims, permanent joint patrols, and intelligence collaboration with international allies are among the measures being implemented to further protect lives and safeguard national sovereignty. The federal government has borrowed 17.36 trillion naira from domestic and foreign sources in the first 10 months of this year. This represents 6.06 trillion naira, that's 85.6% in excess of the 10.9 trillion naira stipulated in the 2025 Appropriation Act in 10 months pro rate basis. The total borrowing in 2025 approved budget is 13.08 trillion naira for the entire fiscal year. The breakdown of the 2025 borrowings so far shows a 15.8 trillion naira from domestic sources as of October 2025 and 1.56 trillion naira from the external sources as at first half of 2025. Meanwhile, the FG last week initiated moves to borrow $2.35 billion, that's 3.384 trillion naira via the Eurobond issuance. This would increase the total borrowing to 20.74 trillion naira. Also, going by the periodic domestic borrowing template operated this year, the estimated total borrowing of the year is put at nearly 23 trillion naira, bringing total excesses borrowing for the year to about 10 trillion naira, or 80% in excess of the amount in the Appropriation Act 2025. Financial analysts warned that this persistent overshoot amid weak revenue performance heightens the risk of a self-reinforcing debt trap, erodes foreign investor confidence, and threatens private sector access to credit, with knock-on effects on business expansion, job creation, and the general cost of living. Ned Nwoko, senator representing Delta North, says the bid to create Anambra State has gained significant momentum with constitutional amendment committees and President Bola Tinubu in support. Nwoko spoke at the Izu Inyoma Towns Union event in Abuja over the weekend, where the maiden Anyoma Cultural Festival was unveiled. He said 97 senators had previously signed a document endorsing the creation of Anyoma State, describing the level of support as unprecedented. Nwoko explained that the bill he introduced seeks to carve Anyoma from the 9 local government areas in Delta North, including 4 in Anyocha, Oshimili, 2 in Eka, and 3 in Ndokwa. He added that some neighboring communities, including Igbanke, have also indicated interest in joining the proposed state. According to him, the Senate and House of Representatives committees on constitutional amendments with representation from all states have agreed that the Southeast should be given a 6th state for regional balance. He said the initiative has also received support from Senate President Godswill Akpabio, adding that Tinubu is ready to approve the creation once all constitutional processes have been completed. You're still on to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Up next is our news analysis segment with Dr. Peter Anosike. Good to have you back. If you're just tuning in, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Joining me to help analyze the news item is Peter Anosike, a current affairs analyst. He is also an academic doctor with PhD on consulting and profit management from Brenner University in the state of Delaware, United States. He is also the author of the book Abuse of Power: How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. Dr. Anosike, thank you very much for joining us on the news.
Thank you for having me.
Now, obviously, one of the biggest talking points is the Anambra governorship election, and President Tinubu has congratulated Chukwuma Soludo on his re-election as the governor of that state. Well, first, what's your take on the election? I'm sure you monitored it, you read some of the issues that came out of that election.
For me, it shouldn't be a big talking point because most Nigerians know the outcome before the election. Understand me? Most Nigerians know the outcome before the election, that Soludo is going to win based on two things. First, Soludo, what his predecessor, what Obiano did not do in 8 years, Soludo did it in 3 years, which is good for him. That's number one. Number two, Soludo ran on a joint ticket of APC and ABGA. Do you understand me?
Okay.
Soludo ran on a joint ticket of APC and ABGA.
How so?
APC did not have any candidate in this election.
They did, though.
Forget that. Forget that. That's imagine a situation where a party in opposition won, understand? And the president quickly send a congratulation message. So that shows you there was already an agreement.
So you think the APC candidate was just a candidate?
He was just putting up a show. Example: when a flag off is coming, APC always send their heavyweights to go and show support. When Nicholas Okachukwu did his own, Tinubu was not there, Shetima was not there, no any top APC person was there. That sent the message. Understand me? That sent the message that Tinubu has already settled for Soludo before the election. And mind you, Soludo was already wearing Tinubu's cap before the election. When Tinubu visited Anambra, that's for commissioning of some projects, Soludo said that both of us are progressives. Understand? Both of us are progressives. But
no progressive Grand Alliance.
So, but names doesn't mean anything. But understand, name doesn't mean anything. So, both of us are progressives, understand? So, you are going to run as an ABGA presidential candidate. Understand me? So, Tinubu said, I'm going to support you. Understand? So, Nicholas Okachukwu just put up a show. He already know what the outcome is going to be, so it shouldn't be a talking point. Everybody know that Soludo is going to be returned. So to me, it's not a big news.
It is not. Okay, to the next topic for discussion. The Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs and the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria are trading verbal words over the Christian genocide. But the question I want to ask, though, is, we expected the Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs to make this kind of statement. But the PFN, though, while all these killings were going on for years, none of these Christian associations, whether PFN or CAN, made any Christian genocide claim. They've several times they've come on send messages of the killings going on, and whenever some priest or clergyman were kidnapped, they will make statements. But none of them over these years have categorically come out to say there is a targeted Christian killing going on in Nigeria. So is it that they were just waiting for Donald Trump to make a pronunciation for them to parrot his statements?
Wait, the crime here is that they did not mention that word, genocide.
No, the fact that they did not say there's a targeted Christian killing in Nigeria.
They have been condemning the killings of Christians. They have been condemning the killings of Christians. The president of CAN, Daniel Oko, vehemently stated that there's a genocide of Christians in Nigeria.
When was that?
He has said it over and over. Understand?
Because the statement we keep saying is, of course, it condemns the killings generally, and the only time we get to hear them say anything related to a Christian is if there is a clergy among the kidnapped. They should have been the one to start this campaign that there is a Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. If truly they felt at that time that there is a Christian genocide going on in Nigeria.
Wait, are you aware that there was a time that Christians are being killed in the north? And the Secretary General of Ohaneze then, Joe Achuzie, everybody know Joe Achuzie, told Igbos in the north to stop going to church.
That was the Southern Kaduna killings.
Are you aware of it?
That was long before this it became a full-blown insecurity issue.
It didn't start in Tinubu's regime. The genocide did not start in Tinubu's regime, but Tinubu government did not do anything to stop it.
The insecurity became fully blown during the Jonathan administration via Boko Haram.
Because they manipulated it to be so. They used it as a political strategy to remove Jonathan. Understand me?
Now the point I'm trying to make was that before Boko Haram came into the forefront, we knew there was a Christian killing going on in especially in the popular Southern Kaduna killings, and everything died down when Boko Haram came. But then that wasn't exactly an insecurity. Then that wasn't an insecurity the way it is now. That wasn't an insecurity issue the way it is now. Why didn't they bring it up?
Boko Haram under Jonathan has a political undertone. They created insecurity. They created fear so that people will vote against Jonathan. Understand? They created fear. They created so that they were not saying that it is only a general that can stop insecurity, meaning Buhari. So it was them that light the fire. It was them that deliberately increased the tempo of Boko Haram, just to put fear in the mind of everybody, so that Jonathan is not a military officer. It is only a military officer that can quell insecurity. So that Buhari fought Montesine in 1982. That was the riot in Kanu then. Therefore, he will stop Boko Haram in 2 weeks or in 2 months. That was the game. Understand? And they have been using this Boko Haram on many occasions. Understand? So the issue, Ishiak, whatever, is a politician. Understand me? He is one of these stomach infrastructure a politician. Now we are in Islamic this thing. The question: are Christians not being killed in Nigeria? That's the question. Are Christians not being killed in Nigeria? Southern Borno, where Dapchi, Chibok is a Christian area. Southern Kaduna is a Christian area. Plateau, Benue are all Christian areas. At a point in time, 200 there was a mass burial of Christians in Benue, 280 at a time. What do you call that? What do you call that?
Okay, now in related developments.
So PFN president has said that there's a genocide in Nigeria. CAN president Daniel Oko has said there's a genocide in Nigeria, and every right-thinking person in Nigeria, every sincere person in Nigeria knows that there's a genocide against Christians in the country.
Meanwhile, the presidency have said 18%, there's an 81% decrease in terror-related deaths since 2025. Do you believe?
Do you know that a priest was beheaded yesterday? Are you aware, yesterday being Sunday, that a priest was beheaded? So this is just to make them look good. Understand? This is just to make them look good. But America has their intelligence in Nigeria. Understand? And mind you, just yesterday, UK issued a terror alarm that their citizens should not go to 21 states in the country. I'm not talking of Donald Trump now. I'm not talking of America. United Kingdom give a terror alarm that their citizens should not go to 21 states in the country.
I mean, but this is not actually the first time the UK has been issuing directive to its members. They've been doing it
for me, what they
long
did is
before
to confirm,
Donald Trump came into the picture.
For me, that's to show that what Donald Trump is saying is true, that Nigeria is not safe.
And then finally, because of time, the federal government has borrowed 17.36 trillion naira from domestic and foreign sources in the first 10 months of this year.
Well, it's only when you cannot raise your own fund, when you don't have the capacity to build an economy, to raise money, that's when you resort to borrowing. And I know
but I mean, what's the essence of borrowing if the lives of Nigerians remain the same?
And I know that in August this year, when the Sean of Obamosho visited Tinubu at Aso Rock, Tinubu said that Nigeria has met their revenue target for the 2025. Google need to see it. In August, that Nigeria has met their revenue target for 2025. A week after that, he sent a
letter to the Senate.
For borrowing. And up to today, he's still doing the same thing.
Unfortunately, because
so
of time.
What they are doing is putting our unborn generation into debt. People are going to pay for what they did not know how it come about, which is very, very unfortunate.
Unfortunately, because of time, we can't talk more. Thank you very much, Dr. Anosike. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
That was Peter Anosike, current affairs analyst. He's also an academic doctor with PhD on consulting and profits management from Brennan University in the state of Delaware, United States. He's also the author of the book Abuse of Power: How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. And for a quick look at what's happening outside Nigeria, senators in the United States have voted to move forward with a stopgap funding package aimed at ending the longest government shutdown in the country's history. In the procedural vote on Sunday, 8 Democrats broke rank and voted in favor of advancing the Republican measure, which will keep the government open into January 30. The bill will also fund some parts of the government, including food aid and the legislative branch, for the next year. But there was no guarantee of an extension of expiring healthcare subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, ACA. Instead, the deal struck between the centrist Democrats and the Republicans promises a vote on the issue by December. The subsidies have been a Democratic priority during the funding battle. The Republicans have a simple majority in the chamber. If the Senate eventually passes the amendment bill, the package still must be approved by the House of Representatives and sent to President Donald Trump for the signature, a process that could take several days. And finally on sport, Manchester City celebrated Pep Guardiola's 1000th game in management with a statement 3-0 win over Liverpool to close to within 4 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal. Erling Haaland shrugged off missing an early penalty to head in his 99th Premier League goal before Nico Gonzalez's deflected effort and a wonder strike from Jeremy Doku confirmed City's status as Arsenal's major title rivals. Liverpool have now lost 4 of their last 5 league games to leave the defending champions down in 8 points off the top. Arsenal's 10-game winning run come to an end in a 2-2 draw at Sunderland on Saturday, and Guardiola's men took full advantage of the battle of the two sides that have dominated the Premier League over the past decade. Even if decisions went against Arne Slot's men, this was another show of how far they have fallen since cruising to a 2-0 win at Etihad in February. The Reds showed signs of revival in beating Aston Villa and Real Madrid in the past 8 days, but had no answer to the sleekness of rejuvenated City, who have won 11 of the last 14 games in all competitions. And that's the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Thank you for listening. I am Solomon of FM. Do follow our social media handles at VOP903 FM. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903 FM. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.